All right, so I want to go over the 3 stages from transitioning from a UML to a context data flow diagram to a system data flow diagram. So last week I gave you the homework assignment to transform this stated set of requirements, and these would all be considered functional requirements. There's a ton of non-functional requirements implied in this, and as a business analyst, you would probably ask the customer questions like reliability, scalability, security, and to flesh out all of the non-functional requirements. But as we go through here, we want to identify the functional requirements and identify the actors. So going through this, you can pause this video and you'll also get a copy of this PowerPoint. One thing I recommend is use a highlighter if you've got this in pen and paper, or just use color coding to first identify all the actors in this. So we have customers that need to, in this case, the use case is search for rooms. The next sentence, customers are the actors. Can also call into the hotel to ask for the same information. So in this case, calling the hotel, this implies to me that I have another actor here. I have somebody in here that's going to be searching for rooms. Okay, so I have another actor. In this case, so far I have a customer and the hotel staff. All right, I have the search result. I consider a use case. We can call this view result. We'll show the room type, price, and availability. Customers, another actor, can book rooms, or they can call the hotel, again, the hotel staff. Customers can cancel reservations. Cancel reservations is a use case, or call the hotel staff. Customers will receive confirmation. Customers can create and update accounts and so forth. So you can go through this. So when you break this down, we had 2 actors, customers and hotel staff. And if you go through each of the highlights in here, you can see the different use cases: search for rooms, view search results, book rooms, cancel, receive, and create and update their account. Now, it's argumentative that search and view could be considered one. I'll break it down into 2, but it could be considered one. Now, the hotel staff, because the customer can call in, that's implied in the statement above, was the hotel staff can also search for rooms. The hotel staff can also view the search results because they're on the phone. The hotel staff can place a booking order on behalf of the customer. Now, what's interesting in this, the hotel staff can create and update the customer account, and the hotel staff can update the customer's check-in and checkout status. All right, so now what's interesting is 1, 2, 3, 6 are duplicate customer requirements, and so I've labeled them, so I'm not creating a new requirement. What's interesting here is receive is, there's a bunch of things not stated as the hotel staff. So that when the hotel staff creates a booking, as an example, they're not going to receive a notification, right? All right, so I have my 2 actors. I have my 7 use cases. And if I draw my UML, a UML is just listing these 7 functional requirements. And you don't need to do this. And actually, in all the research I've done, no one numbers these, but I would be fine if you numbered these just to tie them back to these, just to make sure, just to do a sanity check that you've marked all these done. And then, so customers I should have a line from customers to these 6, and I should have a line from hotel staff to these 5, all right, which I do. All right, so I have my 2 actors left and right. I have my 7 use cases. And then if you want to go above and beyond to talk about includes or extends, this would be an example of an include. So both searching for a room and booking for a room, this implies understanding the room availability, because when you search for the room, you also want to see that a room is available on your search result. So this would be an include. All right, so that is the UML. Now, if we want to transition now to a Context DFD, we're going to take the customer, we're going to keep them on the left, we're going to keep the hotel staff on the right, and these 7 things, we need to look at what's the data that's going to go in and out. What are the lines, the label of the lines that are going to go in and out of these 7 things. So we transform that into this next slide. So I've got my customer on the left and I've got my hotel staff on the right. And I have the hotel reservation system. So this box here really represents the entire system. And so if I look at, I'm going to go back. If I look at step 1, search for rooms. Well, in order to search for the rooms, you need a search query, right? You're going to be, and I think it's, if you go back up, it might state what parameters you want to search on, right? So maybe, actually it doesn't state, but if you want to search on number of rooms, date ranges and so forth. And so you get the search results. Then you want to book a room. So reservation info, you can call reservation info, maybe booking info. And then they stated that you need to get a receipt. So it comes back with that receipt information. And then you need to cancel. Actually, this should be, I think, number 4. Let me just go back up. Cancel is number 4. All right, so number 4, cancel. And again, they want a receipt that your cancel is correct. And you want to be able to update your account. So that is the 6 functional, well, these are the 6 data flows, the flow of information that represents the flow information for each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So look at these as verbs: search, view, book, cancel, receive, create, /update. These are verbs. Okay, in this case, we're looking at what information needs to be sent or are receiving from those actions, from those verbs. So in order to do a search, we need to send a search query. When we receive a search result, to view the results, we get the search results. All right, so these are considered more like noun phrases, and before those were verbs. The same thing applies to the hotel staff. So the hotel staff, they can do the exact same thing. They do not get that receipt information. Now, it did not state in here that the hotel staff can cancel. So customers will receive the confirmation on room or cancellations. Oh, it does. I was wrong. Customers can cancel hotel reservations or call the hotel to cancel reservations. All right, so I was wrong in here. So I need to make a change here. The hotel staff can also cancel. That makes more sense. So I need to change in here. Hotel staff can cancel reservation. So hotel staff can cancel. So the hotel staff is going to copy that. They can cancel. This is why we do this, is just to make sure we don't forget anything to go through here, okay? You can update the account, and they're the only ones that can do the check-in, check-out. All right, so as we transition now from a context DFD, which is a high level, we're going to start creating a system DFD, a system data flow diagram. So what I want you doing is you're gonna have your 2 actors. You don't have to put them at the top or bottom or left or right, however you want to do it. And then break out each, going back to your UML, break out each of these 7 into these processes, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 7, and just keep the label that you had in your UML. Search for rooms, view results, book rooms, cancel reservations, and so forth. All right, so now that we have our actors and then we have our processes, now we're going to add our databases. So in order to search for a room, we have to have a database of rooms, right? In order to make reservations, we have to have a database of reservations. Now, one could think that the reservation could belong to the room, but remember, you can have multiple reservations for one room. So while that is possible, in reality, you would probably break it out into a different data table. And we'll go over this in more detail in the following weeks. And then you can have an account file for the user's account. Now, if you break out the reservation into a separate table as well, the check-in, check-out can be updating the reservation table. So if we go through this, search rooms uses the room file, view results uses the room file, book rooms uses the reservation file, cancel reservation uses the reservation file, receive confirmation comes from the reservation file, account information is updating the account file, and updating the check-in, check-out will update the reservation. So there are different components of the System DFD. Now, if we transition, now let's start connecting the dots. And so this information was coming from the UML. Our Context DFD was coming from the UML. And now we're going to combine the UML and the Context DFD to start drawing lines. So we take a room search query and search results. We're going to start with a customer. So this customer will send the room search query to the search rooms process, which will then run a query against the room file database, which will return the search results to the view results that will then return the search results back to the customer. And actually, this should be labeled search results. Okay. Now, again, these two could have been combined, so it would be like search rooms, and so this would go back up here, and this would go back up here, right? So you would only have one process, but I would like to break it out into two. A lot of this is subjective as to what the exact right answer is. I wouldn't say there is one. It's all subjective. Okay, but we've identified the flow of data, the data flow. The query parameters, go search against the database, the room file. So these are the rooms. Search results, go back to view results, and then back up to the customer. Now, I would argue that this is not complete because this gives you information about the room, like you were searching for rooms. Yes, the hotel has a room that has 2 beds, right? Or has 2 queen size beds or 1 king size bed, but it doesn't tell you the availability of the room. And so if your availability is going to be in a separate database, we need to add another step in here. So I'm calling this step 8. And here we're going to get the room information. And now we're going to check the availability of the room against the reservation database, the reservation file, or what's called data store. So lots of different names. So we're going to take the results of the room, right? And actually, I'm going to say room results here, make it a little more detailed. Take the room results, we're going to query that against the reservation file, and then we're going to come back with availability information. And so now I have room and availability results that is then going back up to the customer. So I hope that you can see as we're taking it step by step. Right. So now I would have given you still full credit if you had just done this, right? So without these, and you were doing search and view rooms, right? I would still give you full credit for that, but bolding this, I haven't seen this elsewhere, but I like doing that. But if you want to really go into a lot more detail, this would be, I think, going above and beyond. And now, if you go into all the different processes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the customer, you can see the different flows. So when the customer books the room, they have the reservation info, then books the room. That reservation info goes into the reservation file, which kicks out a reservation receipt, which then sends that receipt back to the customer. Same thing can happen for cancellation. They can cancel the room, which impacts the reservation file, which kicks out the receipt. You could also combine these two into one as well. So book or cancel, like book/update reservation. So that in theory could be combined, and then you can create the account, create the update of the account. So see how this is create/update. This could be combined, create/update booking, create/update account, create/update booking. So you can combine these into one, and you could have combined these into one. And then when you add the hotel staff, this is how the whole flow goes. So I hope this is helpful for you. Your homework assignment will be to start with a UML that I'll be sending out. Well, I'll send out a requirement like this. You'll have to create a UML, a Context DFD, and a System DFD, and it won't be as complicated as this. All right, great. All right, looking forward to your submissions. Thank you.